when you call a defense, you don't know if Pitts is going to be attached to the tackle or detached from the tackle, flexed a little bit, or lined up outside the numbers. And he's a problem in all spots.
I want to ask about tight ends, and when I'm thinking of defending tight ends in the Falcons, I'm thinking of the game a few years ago going up against Tony Gonzalez. Remember the play where he basically had two guys on him lining up like gunners on the goal line.
That's right.
Does Kyle Pitts present that same sort of like athletic challenge where maybe not lining up the two guys like gunners, but where you sort of have to find a unique circumstance defensively to match up with that?
Yeah, well, we're not allowed to do that anymore. We're not allowed to vice him like we could back when we went against Gonzalez. But if we could, this would probably be a good week to do it. Yeah, Pitts is a really, really talented player. He's very long, has excellent hands. It's good quickness to get off the line, good quickness at the top of his route. He has a huge catch radius. Has made some spectacular one-handed catches where the defenders are kind of grabbing at his other arm. He can only get one hand on the ball, and he still hauls it in. Again, he's a big target. Ryan's a very accurate quarterback, but he's a huge target. He's hard to overthrow, and he makes plays with the ball on either side of him that most receivers just can't make. So it's somewhere between a Julio Jones and a Tony Gonzalez, but he's a big strong guy too, like Gonzalez was. So if you start pushing off against him, he's probably going to win that because he's bigger and longer and just as strong as anybody that's pushing on him, unless they're a linebacker. And then if it's a linebacker, then he has a huge advantage against those guys from speed and quickness standpoint. So he's really good, and he's going to be really good. I'm sure he'll break all the tight end receiving records for a rookie this year. And Coach Smith's done an excellent job of putting him in positions where it's hard to get a lot of coverage on him, and then the type of play that they run based on where he's lined up. It just he creates some opportunities for him, and he's certainly able to take advantage of them with his outstanding skill set. So this is going to be a tough matchup for us, sure.
And as far as tight ends go, whether it's a guy like Gonzalez or Kittle or Kelsey, when a tight end's featured in the passing attack like that, what sort of challenge does it present as opposed to having like a top receiver like a Julio or a Hill, where it's a guy that's a tight end where you're really focusing on?
Yeah, well, again, I'd say the difference with Pitts from what we've seen so far. I know we've got half a season, and they haven't had Ridley here for a couple weeks, but Pitts plays a lot of receiver. I mean, he plays as a wide receiver, extends outside the formation, and so when you talk about a player like Julio Jones, again, he's a great player in his own right, but you never saw Julio Jones really line up at tight end. You would see Gonzalez and Kelsey and Kittle and those guys flex out a little bit, but most of their damage was done inside. And that's a great place for a tight end because he has so many two-way options of going outside or going inside. But when you're in the middle of the field, it's kind of, you can go anywhere. And I would say Pitts has impressed me with his ability to play as a perimeter receiver, as a true perimeter receiver, a high percentage of the time. It's not like he's just out there, once or twice a game. He's out there a lot. Now, from game to game, it could be different, but you got to be able to handle him out there, and then you've got to be able to handle him inside too. And again, you don't see very many receivers come in and actually block. And block one of the front seven players. They might come in and block a DB, but they don't come in and block one of the front seven players. And I think that's one of the things that separates Kittle from a lot of other tight ends that you could talk about is his superior blocking ability. But Pitts can come in there and block. But then I would say more than Gonzalez or more than Kittle or even Kelsey, he extends out more than they do too. So his ability to really be a receiver to a tight end is pretty impressive. It's similar to Patterson, Cordarrelle, who can play receiver slot receiver and running back on any given play, and he doesn't look out of place in any of those spots. And those are really challenging matchups for a defense when you look at a player, but you really don't know what he is. Like with Patterson, is he a running back? Is he in the slot, or is he a perimeter receiver? And he's killed teams at all three spots. Or same thing when you call a defense, you don't know if Pitts is going to be attached to the tackle or detached from the tackle, flexed a little bit, or lined up outside the numbers. And he's a problem in all spots. So those guys are tough, and Coach Smith's done a good job of, I would say, putting together a very versatile team. You look at a guy like Franks, who's similar to Hill from New Orleans, plays quarterback, but he also plays tight end, and he also plays in the kicking game. And he's out there, banging heads with linebackers and running backs and everybody else on special teams. So, is he a tight end? Is he a quarterback? Again, he's on the field. It goes kind of back to the Hill conversation. He's on the field, but you really don't know where he's going to align, and that makes it hard to call defenses if you don't know if he's in the backfield or behind the center or where he is. So those kind of things cause problems. So I'd say, in just general, Coach Smith has really put together a group of players in the offensive skill positions that are versatile, and they can do a lot of different things, and then he formations them around so that it makes it extremely hard defensively to match up to them, and that's very challenging.
Great, thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.